Vasudevaya.
So we take a recap of 13:22.
Chapter 13, text 22. Purusha prakrutisto hi.
Purusha prakritisto hi.
Bhukte prakriti jan gunan.
Bhukte prakriti jan gunan.
Karanam guna sangosya.
Karanam guna sangosya.
Sadyoni janmanus. Sadasadyoni janmasu.
Sadasadyoni janmasu.
Translation. The living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he mates with good and evil among various species.
So as you can see that what is the verse saying, that we are the Purusha Prakriti Stoi. That we are also Purusha, but we are tiny Purushas, but we think we are the supreme enjoyers. And this enjoying mentality, this enjoying attitude, this enjoying desire is what binds us to the material world. So the 14th chapter elaborates on this, because we are all bound up in this material world. Unless there are some liberated souls, practically all of us are bound up in the material world. Now how does the binding take place? What is the nature of the binding? And how to get free from that is very important to know, because that is the position. And the difficulty is that we know we are, even if we know we are bound, we can't come out of it unless we understand the nature of the binding. What to speak of those who don't know that they are bound? That is even worse. So till now our life we led thinking that we are not bound, we are free. Now we are hearing the good news from Bhagavad Gita, we are not free. And then you want to know, okay, what do I do now? I admit, I understand. With my higher intelligence I can understand that I am actually not free. So now what to do? So this 14th chapter is going to reveal to us the nature of the binding, how it happens, why it happens, and how to get out of it. So we'll fast forward straight to text number 6.
We did 6 last week.
Yeah, I just want the three modes are being described from this section 6 to 12. We just recite these verses again. Janardan, you want to recite text 6? We'll just do recap of 6 and go to 7.
Hare Krishna. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat.
Dattva sattvam nirmalatvat.
Prakashakam anamayam.
Prakashakam anamayam.
Sukha sangena bhadnati. Jnana sangena chanagha.
Jnana sangena chanaka.
O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge.
Okay, so what are the characteristics of mode of goodness? It's free from sinful reaction. That's the word. What's the word used for free from sin? Yes. Also anaga. Anaga or anamayam is without sinful reaction. So one is free from sinful reaction. That is the first characteristic of mode of goodness. What else? It's illuminating. It brings light. It brings knowledge. Okay. So what is the restriction of that? Limitation? Yes, we become very complacent. And we become attached to the sense of happiness and knowledge. So what happens when you become attached to the happiness and knowledge? Pride comes. Attachment comes, pride comes. So now we are no more in the mode of goodness. We slip down to mode of passion. And when that happiness is not attained, what happens? We become angry. And then we come to mode of ignorance. So the mode of goodness, while it is free from sin, one follows the regulative principles, one is very clean, one is very austere, one follows the religious path. The downside of that is, and there's knowledge also, mode of goodness there's knowledge. The downside of this is one gets attached to the happiness and the knowledge. And it can degrade us. So it's not stable. Mode of goodness you can't maintain all the time. And very often mode of goodness looks very same as mode of ignorance. Why is that? Why do they are exactly opposite? It looks like mode of ignorance. One seems very satisfied. Exactly. Both seem to be very happy. Madman is happy and one in knowledge is happy. The main point in mode of goodness and ignorance being look similar is because both devoid of passion. They both don't have passion. Therefore they look similar. Person is not doing anything, you think, oh, his mode of goodness. He is so quiet, sitting down quietly, so good. Mode of ignorance also sitting down quietly because he's drunk. He's had too many drinks. He's not able to get up from his bed. He's just sitting there. And mode of goodness person also looks like he's very quiet. He's not having any ambition. Yes, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu had his hand up first. Is that okay? Rasan Prabhu. Use your mic, Prabhu, please.
Prabhu, here the knowledge means spiritual knowledge, or what knowledge we are talking?
Vedic knowledge, any knowledge. Prabhupada in the purport talks about scientists,
Yeah.
Scientists also, they have knowledge about whatever field they are in. So they achieve that knowledge. They have become expert in that field. They think there's nobody better than me. And then that pride sets in. Very hard to have knowledge and all the recognition and all the name and fame and not become proud. Very hard.
No, that is why my question. In many places they will put an example of poetry, people poets,
Exactly.
or professors.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking whether they will have Vedic knowledge.
They may have Vedic knowledge, but it's material knowledge. Vedic knowledge is also material. Vedic knowledge is also spiritual. We're going to come to that today. We'll discuss the mode of passion, we'll come more. Okay. That's the Puranas are there. 6 for mode of goodness people, 6 for mode of passion, 6 in the mode of ignorance. But the Vedas, the good thing is they elevate us. But the mode of goodness can lead to complacency also. So it's not a stable mode, and it's a default mode for a devotee to be in. But at the same time, it is not the stable mode. What we want to go for, which is the end of the chapter, is pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva.
Like in the school, we used to hear about the mode of goodness and the mode of ignorance. Only 2 people will not ask the question: those who have understood everything and those who haven't understood nothing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
So those will never ask the question.
Correct. Very
Yeah.
true.
So
Very good example.
That's how they will look similar.
Exactly.
And Jagannath Gopal Prabhu has got the question is like once we get attached to the knowledge and become pride, are we still considered to be in the goodness, or do we into the mode of passion?
That we already answered. We already answered that question. One gets degraded into mode of passion. When one becomes affected by pride and attachment, one actually gets degraded to mode of passion. And when that is not satisfied, it leads to mode of ignorance. You get angry. So this is a slide down. So the mode of goodness is not a stable mode. Because it's not stable, therefore it is always risky. And especially in Kali Yuga, you see, the mode of goodness is very hard to maintain. Therefore, the best solution Krishna recommends towards the end of the chapter is, which Prabhupada says right in the beginning, is that to take up Krishna consciousness. Then we are not affected by the modes so much because we can utilize those modes in Krishna's service. Otherwise, the modes condition us and we forget Krishna. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is a good example. He was so attached to being truthful and his reputation as an honest man. When Krishna asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, say Ashwatthama is dead, he refused. He said, no, I can't do that. So the mode of goodness is not the highest platform, but it's a default platform to be in. If in mode of passion, ignorance brings a lot of misery, as we'll see later on. At least mode of goodness makes you happy, materially happy. And that happy condition can be used to think about Krishna and utilized. Otherwise, mode of goodness by itself is not going to liberate us. It's not liberating. It is still binding. That's why example is given of goodness, passion, ignorance of shackles, golden shackle, silver shackle and iron shackle. They're still chains. What's the use of saying I'm in a jail, I'm tied by a golden chain? Fact is, we are in a jail. How is it better than being tied by a silver chain or a copper chain? It does makes no difference. So mode of goodness is still binding, and therefore it's very uh, difficult to come out once we. Having said that, mode of goodness is a good springboard for taking up Krishna consciousness. It's a good opportunity. The person in mode of goodness are more inclined towards taking up Krishna consciousness. But then again, if they're proud of their knowledge and their education, they may not take it up also. They may think, I'm doing fine, I don't need Krishna consciousness. You offer them Bhagavad Gita, they say, no, thank you, I'm alright. I'm doing good. So these are the limitations of these modes. Even the mode of goodness is temporary, it's not stable. So that's why devotees don't aspire to be in the mode of goodness as such. So Yudhishthira Maharaj refused to follow Krishna's instruction, and Arjuna, he questioned Krishna's instruction. Krishna is telling him to fight. Arjuna is saying, why should I fight? I want to give up this kingdom and go away. So he is trying to be in the mode of goodness. But Krishna didn't recommend the mode of goodness. He said, no, you should become. The whole idea of Gita is to make him passionate so he could fight. Because you can't fight in the mode of goodness. Goodness, you want to forgive. You don't want to punish somebody. So you need passion to fight. Without passion, one cannot engage in the warfare especially. Similarly, ruling, managing requires mode of passion. If we don't have passion, then we cannot be successful. But we are very careful that it's used in Krishna's service. And that is the tricky part. That's why we need authority, we need guru, we need elders to guide us. Are we going in the right direction? Am I using passion in Krishna's service, or am I using Krishna consciousness to increase my passion? That we'll find in the next verse. Okay, any other comments, questions? Yeah.
Is it proper to say that a neophyte devotee who has just started Krishna consciousness is better than a person who is situated in the mode of goodness?
Definitely. Definitely is in a better position. Because he has understood the essence of what is the purpose of coming to mode of goodness, is to get knowledge. And what is the goal of knowledge? Veda is a surveyor, ahame vedya, to understand Krishna. So if you're already understanding Krishna, you're better off than someone in the mode of goodness. So
then that explains how, like last time I quoted that example of Tamal Krishna Maharaj being treated by that chiropractor, and he didn't charge Maharaj, and then Maharaj told Keshav Prabhu, don't tell about this chiropractor to any devotees, they'll take undue advantage of him. So it apparently seemed that that chiropractor, being in the mode of goodness and not charging for Maharaj's treatment, was better than the devotees who would go there and get it free of cost and sort of exploit him. But then, because they are chanting Hare Krishna, they have this, and stably if they keep chanting Krishna, Hare Krishna, they have the chance of going back to Godhead. Whereas that chiropractor, he is in the mode of goodness, but because he is not on the path of Krishna consciousness, he could lose his mode of being in the mode of goodness. Is that right?
Well, that's a little bit more complicated than that, because the chiropractor is not only in the mode of goodness, he's actually engaging in some service to the devotees. So that is devotional service. So it's not simply in the mode of goodness. If he is doing it to general public for free of cost, sometimes they have this free eye camp and hospitals and a free hospital for the poor and all. That is the mode of goodness. Now here, because it's treating devotees, is more than goodness, it's devotional service is engaged in. But however, if the devotees misuse that facility, they are not acting in Krishna consciousness, they are acting in the mode of passion. They are thinking, I'll exploit this guy and take advantage of him for their own. But if the devotee is thinking, I should go to him and engaging him in devotional service, making him a devotee, then that they are also engaged in devotional service. And he's also engaged in devotion service. So just because I'm a devotee doesn't mean I'm on a transcendental platform automatically. And this is a very bitter pill to swallow. Because we think I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm transcendental. Not the case. Could be, but not necessarily. So we are very careful about that. We should not think I'm free from the modes now. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Yes, if the consciousness is right, that is possible. But at the same time, we should not use the mode of passion and say I'm doing it for Krishna. Very easy to fall into the trap. Okay? Yes, Prabhu.
I think that reminded me the point which you mentioned is invoking the mode of passion and be in the mode of passion. So
Correct.
we have to maintain that fine line all the
Yes,
time.
That's right. So that's a very good point. That's why we need to have elders guiding us all the time. We can't see it. See, the problem is we cannot see it. Everyone else can see it. We cannot see it. That's how Maya works. She covers us to the extent that everybody understands what's going on. At least the devotees understand, but we don't understand it. We don't get it. We think, no, what I'm doing is right. My way or highway. And that is a very common trap to fall into. Okay, we'll go to next verse. Yeah. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was in the mode of goodness, he didn't want to say apparent lie, Ashwatthama is dead. So he thought that devotion service is inferior to mode of goodness, or rather mode of goodness is superior to praising Krishna. And similarly, Arjuna had a similar doubt. He wanted to go to the forest and beg. Mode of goodness he wanted. He was hesitating to use passion in Krishna's service. And Krishna had to speak the whole Bhagavad Gita to convince him to use the passion in his service. So I need the passion now. You'll please me by fighting. And you please Krishna, then no question of modes being affected. Then no more modes are affected. Is that okay? Thank you. Yes, bro. Another bro.
So, Prabhu, you mentioned that, okay, so if the devotees are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they shouldn't think that they are outside the mode. So the question here is, now we are chanting, we are trying our best to do devotional service. How do we measure as to what, whether we are in the modes or not? What is the measure?
Yeah.
How do we
The
benchmark
Yeah,
ourselves?
that's what Rasan the Prabhu related to his question. The benchmark is how much Krishna is pleased. How much Krishna is pleased, that is our success factor. If Krishna is not pleased by our endeavor, then there's no use. That's why the example is given in the Nectar Devotion. Rupa Goswami example of the devotees are like the deep water fish. The sharks, they go deep in the ocean. They're not caught by the fisherman's net. If we are superficial, we'll get like a fish on the surface, we get caught by Maya's net. We go deep inside, we will not get caught. So therefore the Krishna consciousness has to be really deep. And that depth increases as we practice more and more sincerely under the guidance of spiritual master, under the guidance of Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. Follow the instructions and do it as a answer to the to their request. So when Hanuman was fighting or burning Lanka, he was chanting all the time the prayer. This is my Jai Shri Ram. This is my service to Lord Ramchandra. Not that I have come to take revenge on Ravan. I pay him back now. Not done on false ego. Purely service to the Lord. Now Arjuna shot his arrows. He chanted Krishna's name, keeping Krishna. This is for your pleasure, my Lord. And then he shot the arrows. So every step we do, everything we do, we have to see like that. You are running a Bhakti Vriksha. This is a service to you, my Lord. When you are speaking also, we are glorifying the Lord, not to glorify ourselves, to show how great we are, how much knowledgeable we are. So that prayer has to be there constantly all the time. So while the prayer is there, we remain meek and humble. So sometimes Krishna withholds success from us if he thinks that we can't handle it. Until you come to the real praying stage, where you pray deep prayer. Then Krishna gives the result. Then we know, okay, I have nothing, I had no plan, I had no idea how I'm going to do this. Krishna made it happen. I cannot take any credit. Genuinely won't take credit. Others sometimes say, oh, Prabhu, it's all Krishna's mercy, but inside I'm thinking, actually it's me. Last fundraising dinner was a very good example of that. We had all new people there. We had no idea what donation we'll get. I was praying very desperately. And when we prayed desperately, and also Shanmukhi Mataji and so many devotees, they had all arranged for praying for the new temple project to come up. And we saw Krishna reciprocated. People who were totally unknown, they ended up giving much more than the devotees. So Krishna sometimes helps like that. So being deeper in a Krishna consciousness, we can understand these things. That's why understanding the modes are very important, because we can see that is passion. I'm doing this in a mode of passion for my own false ego rather than a service to the Lord. So our motivations can be, we can examine our motivation very clearly. But the bottom line is, Krishna is pleased. And we don't know Krishna is pleased or not. That's why Guru is pleased, or the Vaishnavas are pleased. Yasya prasada bhagat prasada, yasya aprasada nagati kutak. Yes, mic is there.
As you mentioned, we cannot see directly Krishna whether he is pleased or not. There was one question which arose in our Bhakti Vriksha yesterday. I somehow answered it, but I wasn't fully convinced with my own answers. So as the reference has come, I'll just ask that.
Yeah.
These are new people who are attending Bhakti Vriksha, and they actually ask that how we know that the Krishna is happy with our service. So I actually said that if you serve devotees and if you get the feedback from them that you did good service, that's one of the indication. But I wanted to give them more depth answer, but I just kind of avoided, and so I would like to know more about it.
Yeah. So that is the criteria. We do everything on instruction. Even the preaching we are doing is given by instruction. Because see, even Guru doesn't come and give instruction every day to guide us in every step by step, like a GPS, left turn, right turn, left turn, right turn. So we have to see what is the instruction our spiritual masters have given us, which is common to all of us. What is the first instruction? No, even before that. Chant 16 rounds with as much attention as possible. So that's the first instruction. So we should not say Guru has not given me any instruction. He has not given any instruction because our basic instructions are not being fulfilled yet. How will he take on more? The first instruction is to chant 16 rounds. So we do that as best as we can. What is the next instruction after that? Follow the 4 regulative principles. So we should see how we are doing. In that also we have to see, not only through action, through words, through thoughts also. Are our thoughts pure? Are our words pure? It's like one sannyasi asked for instruction. What instruction? One instruction for me. And Prabhupada said to him, he was a young sannyasi, said, don't go to a grihastha's house and wish, oh, I wish I also didn't take sannyas, I had got married and had a nice house, nice family. That is my instruction to you. Don't ever think that I made a mistake, I should have got married. So that, it's a negative instruction, but that's such a difficult instruction to follow. Recently we had wedding. Tulsi Bhakti got married. Everyone was celebrating. So much pictures on Facebook and everything. So everyone is celebrating. That's the mode of passion is coming. But what about those girls who are not married? How will they feel? Sorry, I don't mean to pick on anyone, but I'm just saying, for them they'll think, oh my God, I'm not getting married, everyone else is getting married. What about me? So that is the nature of mode of passion. But what Facebook doesn't show is what happens after 5 years, after 10 years. And that is what we're going to read next, mode of passion. So mode of passion is that nature, it creates more desires. It increases our desires. So we become dissatisfied. So, and I'm already jumping to mode of passion because that is such we can relate to it so easily. But coming back to your question, that when the Vaishnavas are pleased, then we take it as a confirmation.
Prabhu, the part B of the question was like for Arjuna, there was Lord Krishna to explain all these things.
Correct.
But when we are actually into the situation,
Yeah.
how do we actually? And I actually said that there is a Paramatma. If you pray
Yes.
honestly,
Yes.
he will guide you from within, and there could be some message who will like there could be some message you will get it at that moment if you pray honestly. But if you could elaborate on that as well.
Yes, prayer should be, but on our side we have to be doing our sadhana properly, chanting nicely, reading nicely, hearing, associating. Our sadhana should be strong. If our sadhana is strong, then Krishna will more likely to reciprocate with us. We can't force him. Look, Krishna, I've done 16 rounds. You got to now do what I say. That's not how it is. But more likely that we'll be attracting his mercy. It's purely by mercy. It's not by our qualification. So the first thing should be that we should be willing to take instruction. Most of us, we don't want to take instruction. That's the problem. Or we think, I'll take from Krishna but not from you. Krishna is alright, but not you. So all these kind of, we have reservations. One time, one devotee, he came to Prabhupada and this is actually even, he told this, no? Yeah. He came and asked Guru Maharaj, I want to get married. And Guru Maharaj said, alright, you want to get married, then so be it. Then later on, Guru Maharaj said, he doesn't want to be in the temple because he's under the charge of the temple commander. But he's going to get married and be under the command of his wife. But he has to be under someone's instruction. He's thinking, I'll get free from the temple commander. Right? I don't want to follow temple president and follow their instruction. I can be independent. But we cannot be independent. In this situation, we become dependent on someone else. So at every step, there is going to be guidance. And unless we're willing to take that guidance, we will not get Krishna's reciprocation also. So prayer is required. Good, very good. But the prayer should be preceded and followed by the right attitude. So how much we are following instructions given to us by spiritual master. So first is chanting, then follow the regulative principle, then there is instruction to preach. After that instruction is already given. So Guru doesn't have to give any further instruction. And how to preach? You work with the local temple authorities. The temple is the base the Prabhupada set up for us. From the temple, everything should go from there. Now the Gopinath is the center. Not I am the center, you are the center. And it all becomes personality clashes, personality cult. We don't create a personality cult. Then we're not, even though we're apparently preaching, we're not following Krishna's instruction. In spirit, it's not there. Because the willingness to cooperate is not there. Cooperate means to see what is required to be, what needs to be done, and what is my instruction, and follow that. Not that I do what I want and everyone else has to say how great I am. That is not devotional service, that's not cooperation. Even though it looks like devotional service. It is not, because the Lord is not pleased by this. So we are very careful that we are really understanding the instruction, following the instruction. And it's not a simple yes or no answer. Our attitude has to be right. Sorry, I'm elaborating on this more because I'm trying to give context to the question rather than just give a straight answer. Oh, straight answer is, if Vaishnavas are pleased, then Guru is pleased, Krishna is pleased. That's it. That's a short answer. But this is the context we have to keep in mind. And it's very tricky. Very tricky. Because we can always justify what I'm doing is right. Like this morning, Harisari Prabhu was telling that ISKCON, they had a 11-story building in New York, Manhattan. 11-story building. And Prabhupada visited that center in 1976. That was the last time we went to US. And that time was the 10th anniversary of Prabhupada starting ISKCON in 1966. 10th anniversary. And here Prabhupada sitting on the top floor of a 11-story building. Beautiful building. The basement they had restaurant. First floor they had reception. Second floor they had something else. Third floor temple. Fourth floor Brahmacharya Ashram, Brahmacharya Ashram. One floor for each guest house, and one floor was something else, library, and so many things they had kept. 11-story building, beautiful building. And Prabhupada, when he came to that place, he liked that place very much. They had darshan. I will not go into the whole detail. And after 5 years or 6 years, they sold that place. And then they tried to find one center here, one center there. They're supposed to buy another place, as a convent. After they sold this 11-story building, that convent, they backed out of the sale. They said, we'll not sell to the Hare Krishnas. So finally they left with neither the old temple, they could not cancel that sale because they already signed the contract. Here also they signed, but in spite of signing, they backed out. So they had no place to go for some time. Then they desperately went and bought something here, bought something there, New Jersey, here, there. And somehow the money was spent and they did not get a good place and they were always struggling. Then one devotee reminded them, in 1976 when Prabhupada came here, he told the GBC that time, don't sell this place and don't invest in any more properties. Don't worry about buying any other property. Rather, Govinda already moved so many times, don't move them again. This is a nice temple, keep it. The temple hall had a capacity of 800 people, can you imagine? But then the devotees were there, they were saying, oh, it's very hard to maintain. Monthly cost of maintenance was $100,000 a month just to maintain that place. So expensive. They didn't have money. And they had a mortgage on that, they hadn't paid it off. So all kinds of, I'm not going to management now, but see what the devotee said was we didn't follow Prabhupada's instruction not to sell the place. Rather we thought there's a more practical solution. I'll get something small and nice and you can do good preaching from there. So even though it's all devotional service, no one is doing, there's no sinful activity here. It's all Krishna conscious. But within that there are so many layers. But very careful that we understand what Krishna wants at every point in time. So that question the devotee is asking, a very important question. And that should be the constantly checking ourselves. Am I doing it for the right motivation? Even if I follow the Guru's instruction, still we have to think, am I doing it with the right motivation? Is my motivation correct? So much to improve in everything we do, whether leading kirtan or making garland or speaking or cooking, anything. It's so deep. So unless we become deep like that, we will not be able to make progress. So that's why these opportunities in life are there to give us that very important instruction. Okay.
In Melbourne, there was this Mataji. Her husband had passed away and she had a little daughter and she had come to Krishna consciousness and she was very active and very energetic. And for Janmashtami, she said, I'm going to get the children to stage this play. And she was doing everything very actively. And time to time her daughter would fall sick, so much so that somehow she pulled through that whole thing, and the drama, according to her, it didn't come out very well. She is a perfectionist. She wanted everything in a particular way, and we all know how hard it is to put up a drama, and that too with children. And she wasn't happy with that at all. And then we both used to analyze. We like to analyze and find out where we went wrong and how we can improve it. So when we both analyzed, she was saying, you gave me that CD and I was watching. There is one movie called Bhakta Kumbhara. It's actually originally it's Marathi. In that, how in order to be very pure in his devotional service, it's a whole story. I'm not going to tell the whole story. He cuts off his hands. And without his knowledge, he tramples on his child and the child dies and something all happens and he cuts off his hands. And the Lord Vitthal comes to his house, to their house, and the Lord is cooking and serving and he's doing everything for that pot. His name is Gora. He does everything. So, and then she said, see, that day I was watching that movie which you gave. See the difference between Gora Kumbhara's service, and finally the Lord not only serves him, finally he gives back the child whom this Gora had trampled and killed. He gives back his hands, he gives back the child, and he tells him, from now on you should preach to everyone about the glory of bhakti. And she says, I was also trying to do this drama for the Lord's pleasure, but my daughter kept on falling sick so much so that I had to put her in hospital. See, then we came to know the motivation. Here the motivation is, all will say how well she did the drama. Oh my God, Mataji, you're so good. The drama was so nice. So then that mode of passion, no, for our own self-aggrandizement. So when we do that, that's wrong motivation. But when we do it, if we, as long as we come to know, oh, my motivation is wrong, that is mode of passion is wanting to be praised, no? Wanting to be praised is mode of passion. So when we analyze and find out, oh, my motivation is to get this wah from everyone. Oh, Mataji, you're so good. You did it so well. So then the ego goes on like that. No? So as soon as the ego goes, Krishna is gone. He doesn't want to live in a heart where there is ego. So our motivation should be, but with Gora, what was his motivation? He was not doing it for any audience. He was doing it purely for the Lord. So the Lord reciprocated by coming and serving him. Yeah, Mataji, you had some point.
It's just, does it means like Krishna reciprocates in that way that no, don't do this because this is not what I want, and because your daughter is falling sick, so you just think about serving her first, and then that's what Krishna was telling her, was like, first priority goes to family. So that was the indication maybe Krishna was giving. Is it that? So she should have stopped.
If we are tuned in to Paramatma, that is only when we go deep, then we are tuning into the Lord's instruction, to the Lord's correction. But if we remain very superficial, the mode of passion and ignorance, they cover, no? What are the three modes? They are the Lord's Maya, no? Maya potency has two things. It will cover, one is Avaranatmika Shakti and another one is Pratyakshatmika Shakti. One is that which will cover you, the another one which will pull you down. So if you're so covered, the Lord will say, okay, I'm not talking to you. You know what you want to do. Okay, go. You're very intelligent, no? You are more intelligent than me. Do whatever you want. But if we are tuned in, if we are introspective, if we are deep and our real motivation is Krishna, I don't know Krishna. I'm so stupid. I'm so covered by, that is the meaning of Daivihi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. See, Gunamayi. Mamevaye prapadyante. When you really submit saying, Krishna, I'm very stupid, Krishna, please. I don't know. Gurudev, I don't know. I can't write a letter every time to you. Can I do this? Can you please guide me? Then with that guidance, oh, see, my motivation was wrong. Like that Mataji said, my motivation was wrong. No, I wanted to be glorified. So, but from now on, I'll correct my motivation. Yeah.
Prabhu. Will that fall under the other Atyahara Prayasascha? So she was trying so many prayas as well.
Yes.
Will that cover under that
that comes
sloka
under
as well?
mode of passion. Yes, you're right. That is the characteristic of mode of passion. One works very hard to get name and fame, to get all this. That's why when people are in mode of goodness, they can't understand. See, in India, people were formerly, they are more in the mode of goodness. But the Westerners thought, oh, they are very backward, not very advanced. Why? Because they don't have passion. Like sometimes, when your devotees have children, Hare Krishna Prabhu, please come this side. Come this side. They have children and they are a bit concerned. Oh, my child doesn't want any toys. My child doesn't want anything. Something wrong. You should go and see a psychiatrist. Because they feel, what's wrong with you? Why don't you have passion? Why don't you have some desires? You should be demanding from your parents, give me this toy, give me that toy. And the whole marketing principle is based on that, of increasing our desires, and when you get the toys, what happens? After 10 minutes, the child is not interested in the toy anymore. He wants another toy, bigger toy, better toy. So that is a mode of passion. It makes us more and more, desires will increase our desires. Okay. Any other comments? Yes, please. Yeah.
Especially with the new devotees, new Bhakti Vriksha people, if you explain that Guru and other thing, they are not taking much serious. So we should, what I did was, took up some of the instruction in Bhagavad Gita himself, like Patram Pushpam Panam Toyam.
Yes.
So that's Krishna said, offer this with love and affection. Now many of them don't offer the food to Lord, the new devotees. So that instruction let's follow. So they started following. So
Very good.
I thought
Very good.
Directly we'll give them.
Of course, you are giving that also you're giving from Prabhupada only anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
In Vaishnava philosophy, the Acharya is more important than the Lord. Why? Not because the Acharya is greater, but because
Prabhu, but
no, I understand your point. Yeah, but that's true. But at the same time, you also make it a point to them to understand. Gradually, bring them to the point of understanding that Acharya's words are ultimately more beneficial for us because they have the potential to transform us. The Lord is neutral; He doesn't transform anybody, but the Acharya wants to transform the person. See, sadhu is one who follows the Lord's instruction. Acharya is one who not only follows, but he also teaches others to follow. So you are right in the sense that you read from the Gita to get them the conviction, but at the same time, simultaneously, we need to also inform them that without Acharya we cannot follow. Otherwise, I'll pick and choose whatever instruction I like and avoid what I don't want. No? That becomes a problem again. And we should not think I'm hearing directly from the Lord. Yeah, but you're right. New people will have more faith when they read from Gita. Even the Bhakti Vriksha, I always make it a point to have Bhagavad Gita there. Because see, we read from Science Self-Realization, people think, oh, that's somebody's own writing, own opinion. They don't know it's Prabhupada Acharya. What he says is as good as Bhagavad Gita, no different. So what we do is whenever the reference is made to the Bhagavad Gita, we always, Sumita, right? We always bring the Bhagavad Gita and say that is 3rd chapter, text 13. That is 9th chapter, text 26. We give them the actual reference of the Gita, which Prabhupada is doing already anyway. But sometimes not explicitly stated. He paraphrases some shloka, but he doesn't tell the shloka number because he was in a hurry to finish the translation. So sometimes he kept it very short. He just says a sentence and leaves it. But those who read Bhagavad Gita, they understand, that is 3rd chapter, that is 4th chapter. He's actually talking from there. So a combination of both is important. But I agree with your strategy. It's good point. Yeah. Yes, Madhuri.
Prabhu, this endeavor point is always confusing for me, that how much endeavor we should put in doing things.
Very good question.
And Prabhupada started the League of Devotees in Jhansi. That was failed. Then again, with so much determination, he went to US. Still he was, enthusiastic. No, I have to follow my Guru's instruction.
Very nice.
But in our day-to-day life, how should we understand that we should do this or not? Even if we are trying 2 times, 3 times, this is not happening. But should we stop putting our efforts in that? How should we do that?
Yeah, very good question. It's a very deep question also. Because it's a question we face all the time. This morning, Hariswari Prabhu answered that question with Prabhupada's answer. I'll give you that. It's still fresh in my mind. Actually, today I'm really sorry devotees missed the class. I know there are so many visitors coming. It's a bit hard to come every weekend to attend the classes. But it's really nice class today. He's read out Prabhupada. Prabhupada made a very interesting statement. He said, we should not change our philosophy to accommodate others, the public. I'm just paraphrasing. But rather, we should stick to a philosophy and the public should accommodate us. Because our tendency is to tailor the philosophy to accommodate the public. He said, no, we should keep the standard as it is and the public should adjust. And he gave the example of Bon Maharaj. Bon Maharaj told, if you want to preach in the West, you have to wear a suit and tie and you eat it with a knife and a fork. That's the only way you can read. They can relate to you, they'll preach to you. Don't wear dhoti and all. He told Prabhupada, dhoti is not going to work. What did Prabhupada do? He stuck to the dhoti. He sat on the floor, ate with his hands, and made the Westerners do that. Rather than him following the Western method, Westerners started eating with the hands. So that is the first point to consider. That we are not doing it just to accommodate the public so much we compromise the philosophy. So our philosophy, Prabhupada said, it should be as it is. We should present as it is. And people should accommodate and adjust to that. Not that we adjust our philosophy to suit the public. So in preaching, very often that's a very common trap to fall into. That we want to get number of people and get more people. Of course, the intention is good. But at the same time, we are compromising somewhere. So therefore, that line has to be drawn very carefully. That's why Guru is so important. Our senior devotees are Vaishnavas are very important to get this. Last time when we had Atmaram to give the class on Radha Gopinath anniversary morning, he gave the class and he was saying how we should be very fixed in our determination to serve Srila Prabhupada, to serve Radha Gopinath. We should not waver from this, making that point. Then I asked him a question. I said, Prabhu, how much should we work as if everything depends on me, And how much should you say, leave it to Krishna? Where do you draw the line? You are there, no? Somebody was there. Anyway, where do you draw the line? And his answer was, you have to work as if everything depends on you only. In terms of due diligence, do not compromise thinking, dekha jayega, Krishna will take care, I'll just do something. We should do as if everything depends on us. But then but the time was not there. Later on I reflected, exactly opposite instruction Krishna gave to Akrura. Akrura was making arrangements to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, and on the way had super security marriage measures, super arrangement he made for security. And Krishna laughing at him, what are you going to give me security? You got to be kidding, come on, give me a break. You just take out all this, you don't need all the securities, hidden soldiers, secret codes, Morse code messages being sent out. He'll say if you dive twice in the river, you should come out, 3 times if you dip, you should come and signal the army. And he had made a whole elaborate plan, and all Krishna was doing was laughing at him. He thought, of course he was being protective to Krishna. As a father or as an elderly person, he was trying to protect Krishna and Balaram, but actually Krishna is saying, who is protecting who here? So there is an example where Krishna didn't want that elaborate planning. He said, depend on me, just relax. Get these people off. No, don't need any of this arrangement. But at the same time, Atmaram Prabhu told me, no, you have to work as if everything depends on you. And not say Krishna is there, I'll just slack off. So these are very important. That's why again, Guru Krishna, Sadhu Shastra, Guru is required. We pray, like Nandagopal Prabhu said, praying very important, praying to Paramatma, please guide me, I don't know, I'm lost. And when we admit that we are confused and lost, like Arjuna did, then the instruction comes. But if you think I'm so smart, I got it all figured out, I know what to do, and then do our own thing, it is not going to work. Though in the short term it might look good, but in the longer term it's not going to work. So better to have short term pain and long term gain. The pain is going to come anyway. Whether to have it earlier or later, that's the question. That's what I'm saying, we need guidance from Sadhu Shastra Guru. We need the guidance, we need prayers, we need to get, there's no easy answer I can give for general statement. Sadhu Shastra Guru is the standard, is the norm. We confirm everything we do. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think I mentioned that once, no? He was 90 years old, practically blind. He couldn't see, what to speak of writing. But he was asked to write not some small book here and there, the biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, the Lord himself, who was unlimited. How can someone do like that when he's 90 years old and he's so frail in health and he can't see properly? And he's written such beautiful book. But he wrote that on order of his Guru, Lord Nityananda. He wrote that in order of the Vaishnavas of Vrindavan. And when he went and prayed to Radha Madan Mohan, the garland fell and the priest came and gave the garland to him. He was thinking, should I write or not? Should I write? And garland comes. So he got 3 confirmations. Then he started writing. And then his writing also is saying, I don't know how I'm doing this. Who is making me write also, I don't know. How I'm writing, I don't know. I'm not at all, physically, it's not possible. Same with Prabhupada also. It looked like first 60 years he just failed. Like you mentioned, League of Devotees, looked like it was a failure. But that is the point Prabhupada was getting to the point, I have to understand what my Guru Maharaj really wants. Yes, preaching is good. But am I preaching in the right spirit? Am I following the instructions the way I'm meant to be doing? And he said, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, go to the West and preach. He had to do that, English speaking language. Then when he started, so wonderful. When today's class was fantastic. Prabhupada spent from 1960 to 64, 4 years to write first canto. See how Prabhupada is fine-tuning his instruction. I'm giving an example to your question. Very beautiful example. He was doing Back to God at first. 1958 he published Back to God. 1960 he published Back to God. Then one devotee told him, magazine people will read and throw away. Newspaper they won't treat seriously. You better write a book. Book they'll keep and read again and again. So Prabhupada said, alright, change of. He had no money. So whatever limited resource, he started writing Bhagavatam. Took 4 years to write one canto. Imagine if he had kept at that pace, what would have happened? 12 cantos will take 48 years. They said by the time Prabhupada would have been 115 years old when he finished the 12th canto. But was that going to work? No. But Prabhupada, then he had gone to see some doctor. Prabhupada had gone to see a doctor. And doctor using a dictaphone. Because those days, Prabhupada writing a book doesn't mean just go on a computer and do something. You have to type it with the typewriter. If you get one mistake on the page, you have to retype the whole page again. The whole page. Not just one line even. No erase, no backspace. So he was doing 4 years, he did one canto. Then Prabhupada saw that doctor using dictaphone. He's dictating. And then he thought, okay, that's a good idea. I can dictate the Bhaktivedanta purports into the microphone. It'll be on tape. Then the devotees can listen to the tape later on and type it. 3 or 4 can work on it, devotees. And one of the devotees was a professor. He was very good at typing. The typewriter, still typewriter only. But at least there is a person who can do it again 2-3 times. And Prabhupada kept on writing and there they kept on transcribing. And of course we hear from Devamata Maharaj how they published the Chaitanya Charitamrita in record time. 17 volumes they did in 2 months. Earlier they're doing 1 volume, they take 4 months to do 1 volume. Prabhupada wanted 17 volumes in 2 months. They said if you have double shift working, we can do one volume in 1 month maybe. Very fast. Triple shift. Prabhupada said no, all 17 volumes in 2 months. And they did it. So these are all, very, the verification and the confirmation is very important at any point in time. Otherwise, you'll take one instruction out of context and say, my Guru asked me to preach, so I'm going to preach. How are you going to preach? Where are you going to preach? What are you going to do? What's the outcome of your preaching? Who's going to find out all that? Where are all the details? Guru also said you cooperate. That part we don't take. We only take the part he told to preach. So, what happens? This is how we get false ego. Then we tend to, colored glass. That's what mode of passion. We wear different color glasses. Goodness, passion, ignorance, different color glasses. Yellow glass or red glass or green glass. And we start seeing things from our own perspective. We're never going and asking Guru, am I really doing the right thing here? Am I on the right track? Or am I just doing my own false ego? So that confirmation is very, very important. What we are doing, we have to always question ourselves. Am I doing it properly or not? Have I done it properly? Is there anything I can do better? What is it that I could improve? And the more we're introspective like that, the more the Lord will reciprocate also with you. You get more reciprocate. Like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami got reciprocation 3 times. Confirming, yes, you should do it. And even then, when he got that confirmation also, he wrote that as an offering to Rupa Raghunath. Every chapter, I used to always think, my God, this chapter has got 40 verses. 20 are only prayers. Actual context is only 20 slokas. Others are all Rupa Raghunatha Pade, Jare Karyas, always begging for mercy, always praying, always begging. The actual matter is, so many words are repeated. Every chapter he repeated that verse. I think why he's already said it once, why he's saying it again. But that is a mood in which he's writing. You can get the mood. The prayerful mood. Not very confident, look here, I've landed, When Prabhupada landed in Boston, that prayer he wrote, which Janardan Maharaj read to us, Janardan Goswami, when he was here. He's writing insignificant beggar. He's saying, I don't know what to do. You have brought me here. Now what do you want me to do? I have no idea. Not like they show in the movies, the hero lands, ta-dang, he sets his foot on the ground. Like, all the start clapping, people in the audience start clapping, heroes come. It's not like that.
Guru Maharaj also told about Prabhupada's attitude. He said, Prabhupada says that I had a argument with Krishna, and Krishna won the argument because he wanted to do as a rich person.
Yes.
And Krishna actually wanted him to be a sannyasi or the beggar, a poor person, and he wants him to pray, preach. Yeah.
Very good point. Thank you. Very good. Yeah, see, we have our own plans, right? He thought I'll make a lot of money, and with that money I'll spread Krishna consciousness. But Krishna didn't want that. Krishna didn't want it that way. He wanted to glorify Prabhupada even more. He said he had nothing. He said, I lost my family, I lost my wealth, but I got back 100 times more. Bigger family, bigger temples, more houses, not one house, 108 houses. But he said, I've got a curse. I can't stay in any one of them for more than 3 days. I've been cursed. Yeah.
During the Bhagavatam class also, Guru Maharaj said that what is surrender is like shut down your plan making factory and accept and accept the whatever the plan Krishna has got it for you. So just shut down your factory of plan making.
Yeah.
That's
very nice. Very good, very nice way of putting it. It's very elegant in expressing, and it sticks in your head. Remember that. I mean, we are discussing 3 modes of material nature. But it's all the modes in action actually. This is the most interesting chapter. You could spend hours and years on this, and Okay, shall we go to text 7? Sumedha Prabhu, we've been discussing the 6th verse all this while. You've not missed anything, in one sense. In one sense, you missed a lot of discussion, of course, a lot of nice point to what is brought up. It's also good. So who is next? Sharmuki? Where's the microphone? Yeah. Text 7. Yeah. We just go in a line.
रजोरागात्मकं विद्धि
Rajoragatmakam viddhi
तृष्णा संगसमुद्भवम्
Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam
तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय
Tannibadnati Kaunteya
कर्म संगेन देहिनम्.
Karma Sangena Dehinam.
The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions.
Vijay Gopi.
The mode of passion is characteristic by the attraction between man and woman. Women has attraction for man and man has attraction for women. This is called mode of passion, and when the mode of passion is increased, one develops the hankering for material enjoyment. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. For sense gratification, a man in the mode of passion wants some honor in society or in the nation, and he wants to have a happy family with nice children, wife and house. These are the products of the mode of passion. As long as one is hankering after these things, he has to work very hard. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that he becomes associated with the fruits of his activities and thus becomes bound by such activities. In order to please his wife, children and society and to keep up his prestige, one has to work. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in the mode of passion. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of the mode of passion. Formerly, the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion?
What are the main points here?
So the mode of passion is like mostly you are working for your family. In order to keep your family happy, you have to work more and more. So that will lead into the bondage.
Yeah.
And the whole world is actually now in the mode of passion.
Yes.
Just to keep the family and then having prestige for yourself.
Correct. And that's the driver. That's the drive. Okay. Any other points on this? What are the characteristics of mode of passion again? Unlimited desires, yes. What else?
Control sense gratification.
And desire for sense gratification. And what else is the characteristic of mode of passion? You have to work very hard, correct? Always trying to do more and more, increase their labor, hard labor, yes.
Prabhu, we were talking in the office regarding this mode of passion, like in a way that it's called as a moving economy. Unless and until you consume more, you cannot create jobs and all these things. Unless and until you are in the mode of passion, you are not in the way that I want this, I want that. And when you don't need it, but you want that because somebody has got it.
Correct.
And that's the mode of passion where we actually go in that I want that, and that is called as a moving economy.
Yeah.
Unless and until we have the moving economy, the society is going to get stopped now. The way it is being structured at this stage,
Yes.
that's why especially the Western world,
Yeah.
it is in mode of passion. Unless and until we have the mode of passion, we all will be stagnant.
Correct. So that's why Socrates, I think it was, he would go to the marketplace and see how people are doing shopping. And he found from his experience the people are buying stuff they don't need. A lot of stuff they buy they don't need. And because they're buying stuff they don't need, naturally they have to produce more and they have to earn more. It's a very, very difficult situation. There was a Vaishnava teacher, and he was a very famous teacher. He would teach a lot of students and not ask for anything, money, very humble, very learned, very good teacher. The king came to see him and said, I'll give you a lot of gifts and rewards. And that sadhu refused. Why are you refusing? He said, no, I am very happy. I make rice. In my backyard there's a tamarind tree. I crush the tamarind and rice. And I eat that. That's enough. A little bit of salt. That's all I need. I don't want any more. And they said, what's wrong with you? The people in the mode of passion, they want to give you more even, to increase your desire. So you'll start asking for more and more. But one in the mode of goodness, that person doesn't need. So person in the mode of goodness, he sees this world as unlimited resources. There's so much here. Whereas a person in the mode of passion sees limited resources. Because they want so much. So there is a shortage. So person in the mode of passion sees shortage everywhere. Person in the mode of goodness sees abundance everywhere. Because our needs are so little. Our footprint is so less. So mode of passion means the person is hankering to be the top position. And once he goes to top position, he's in anxiety to maintain the top position. Even greater anxiety. Getting politician get elected takes so long. To maintain that post is to work even harder. Isn't it? He's never happy. And a person in a position number 2, who is second position, what does he think? If you can't make it number 1, you are number 2. How to reach number 1? He sees number 1 as a problem. He is my problem. He doesn't see a million people are below him. He doesn't look at them. I'm already above millions of people. He doesn't see that part. He sees, oh, this one number 1 is ahead of me. That is a problem. That is the characteristic of mode of passion. So mode of passion is a greater binding. It causes more bondage, more attachment. So going to the temple and praying, what mode is that? Goodness, passion or ignorance? Going to temple and praying. Yes, very good. Okay, Samruddhi, can you elaborate on that? Depends. Very good answer. I'm glad you gave that answer. I was expecting a common mistake.
So, Prabhu, if you're going there to ask for something and what that need is, for example, if you're going to ask for bhakti, then it's pure goodness.
Yes.
But if we are asking for, it depends what we are asking for. I think then it categorizes into what mode it is. Just
correct.
What my thinking.
Exactly. So if you go to the temple and pray, give me a nice house by the beach and give me a big car and big television. So what mode is that? Mode of passion. So temples, churches and synagogues and mosques, if they are made with that purpose, they are simply increasing the mode of passion. So what's the point in building a temple? That's why atheistic people are saying, I can get all this without going to temple. Why should I go to temple? I work hard, I can earn money, I can have a big house, big car, whatever dream you have. I can have my dream life by having enough money. And I can make money by so many ways. Why should I go to temple? So Krishna consciousness is not religion in that sense. Vyasa wrote Vedas, Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, where this is being encouraged, even in a Vedic way. But still the desire for sense gratification is encouraged. Yes, you work hard, you follow the Vedas, you will be happy in this life. Next life you will go to Swarga, I can enjoy even more there. Higher standard of happiness. So religion by itself, it increases passion if it is not used for Krishna's service. So similarly praying also increases mode of passion. It does not give that contentment and satisfaction. I am satisfied with what I have. Rather it increases the passion. So most religions are in the mode of passion. That's why Puranas also divide like that, goodness, passion, ignorance. So that people will gradually elevate themselves. Otherwise, simply being religious is not good, because that religious person simply using religion to increase his desires. And instead of getting free from attachment, one is getting more and more attached to the material world. And that's why most people don't want religion, because it's not giving them the liberating effect. Unless, as somebody said, they pray to the Lord to remove the obstacles in bhakti, take up devotional service, then that religion is good. So religion and prayer is only one aspect of bhakti, one anga of bhakti, isn't it? Out of the 9 angas, which one is? Shravanam, Kirtanam is not asking for anything. Varnam is not asking for anything. Vandanam, prayers, what do we pray for? Archanam, why we do archana for? With what intention? With what prayer? So those are usually to increase the, so people go to temple, their desires increase, they don't decrease. So apparently it's very religious, very godly, but actually one is getting more and more attached. Because the desire. So the Hare Krishna mantra is a pure prayer, because asking, how can I serve you, my Lord? It is not for increasing our material desires. Whereas all other prayers in the Karma Kanda section especially, they are there to increase our material desires, to make us more attached.
I have heard in one of the lectures that we should go to the temple as in we go to the hospital, because first of all we have to understand we are a disease of the ego.
Yes.
And all the other modes which are there, and we should go there and like do the service and everything, so that our disease actually get cured. And that way we should look at the temple as an hospital, but before that we should understand we are a disease.
Yes.
So unless and until we understand these two things,
very good,
the visit to the temple is not going to get
very good point. Yes, very nice point. So if you don't have this proper mood, what happens? You go to temple to increase our desires, to get more into passion and ignorance. It's not helping us, actually it's binding us. So unless that the goal is to please the Lord, one will get caught in the 3 modes for sure. Inevitably one will get in the 3 modes.
So if we go with the mood to the temple with the mood of harming someone, that's ignorance, I guess.
Definitely.
And then goodness, what will be a need for goodness? Some philanthropic work that we want success in.
That's right. We want to, please our family, our friends, our countrymen, our country. That's it tends towards more of goodness, but it's still there's a passion there as well. Because we might be doing that to get name and fame. Like a politician goes and prays to a temple. Why does he pray? To get elected, to serve the public, right? His intention is to serve. I want to become Prime Minister, I want to become MP because I want to serve my constituent. But behind that is a desire for name and fame and position. He's got that desire. So that's mode of passion. It's not pure goodness. But ultimate goodness is to please the Lord. If the Lord is pleased, then that is our success. This morning in the car we are discussing the example of Vritrasura. Vritrasura he was fighting with Indra. Indra threw the Vajra at him. And Vritrasura just caught it like a wicketkeeper catches the ball and gives it back to him. He might use it in the future, keep it with you, don't waste it. And he's like, Indra is shocked. Oh my God, it's my most powerful weapon and he's just catching it like a ball and giving it back to me, then keep it carefully. So how am I going to kill him? I've used my top weapon already. Finished. And then he hits Indra with the club and his whole elephant goes reeling backwards. And he is scared. Indra is really scared. His weapon is not working and one blow of Vritrasura is thrown miles away. He's thinking, what's going to happen to me now? He lost faith. But then Vritrasura preached to him and said, no, the Vajra is given by the Lord, it should work. Come on, use it. And he instructs him how to kill him. Imagine a demon, suppose so-called demon, instructing us, Indradev, the king of the demigods, how he should use the weapon, have faith in the Lord, in the weapon that he gave, and use that weapon to kill him. And it took years to kill him. So at the end, Indra managed to kill Vritrasura. So who is the winner in this battle? Vritrasura. How come? He was killed. He lost the kingdom. He was dead. Very good. He had faith in the Lord. What else? He got a position of Guru. He instructed Indra. Very nice. What else? Indra came back from the battle victorious. Jai Indra ki jai, Indra Dev ki jai, Indra Dev ki jai, Indra Dev ki jai. They're all doing all the demigods. He killed a powerful demon. My God, he was so strong, he was so powerful. Now the demigod is saying like that. But what actually happened? Vritrasura went back to Godhead. Vritrasura went back to Godhead. Indra went back to the material world, into the jail, and put the shackles on. Okay, I am the winner now. I've got golden shackles. I am successful, I am victorious. But who won the battle? That's Vritrasura. So like that, these modes are always acting on us all the time. And demigod life means mode of passion. Full of passion. Very attractive. Bollywood, Hollywood stars, they show all this. Oh, attractive life, attractive life. Later on you see what happens to them. Last few years I've been watching all the heroes of our, when I was young, the heroes, Amitabh Bachchan and this Rajesh Khanna. People are worshipping him like anything. When we were young, we used to swooning on him. Wow, so wonderful. He opens the door of the car, people clap. He steps out of the car, people clap. Such a great personality. But how he died, his life years was miserable. He died in such a degraded. I want to discuss in this class, but he died a most miserable death, with complete disgust and ignorance, complete mode of ignorance. But when they were alive, when he was alive, what name and how much he was riding the high waves of success. And what happened afterwards? Very pathetic condition. He was crying, he was begging people, please. There was no direction. That's the nature of the material world. It gives us those pictures, false impression that you can enjoy like this. That's what the whole advertisement industry is based on. False advertisement. Prabhupada is telling the truth. That's why those who are only honest in heart, they will appreciate that. Those are honestly appreciate. Prabhupada actually are well-wisher. He's telling us the truth. Just like a mother tells a child, go to school and study, is actually well-wisher, though the child doesn't want to hear that. Devata Maharaj gives that example. How his mother is to make him study. And as a result, he got a scholarship in the top university, Yale University. Whereas his friends who were playing and partying all the time and having girlfriends, they failed exam. They didn't get anything. But when he was studying, his mother's friends would come and tell her, come on, ask your son to go for a party. Let him enjoy, he's young. Why are you asking him to study all the time? But later on the results came, the reverse happened. They told, oh, we wish we had listened to you. Your son is doing so well, but our child is now got no admission in university, failed in the exam, went to all the parties, but what did he get? So that is the nature of mode of passion. It's nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end. It only leads to that. And we should not get fooled by this sense of this thing. Because what happens is, when we see that someone is enjoying more than me, we become envious, we become jealous. Why I am not getting that enjoyment? Why it's not there for me? Why this person is enjoying more than me? And that increases our desires. When we increase the desires, we want to work very hard. You want to work very hard, you forget Krishna. Unless you're doing it for Krishna. So these modes are very, very tricky. And unless we are careful and understand the symptoms and deal with them, we're not likely to get over them. Yes.
Nandgokul Prabhu was talking about how when we go to the temple, we have to think that we are diseased and we are going to the hospital. That is such a wonderful meditation while going to the temple, rather than when we are just, at least I can talk for myself, ordinarily. I just go there and not think that, oh, I've come to the temple, I'm diseased. Am I introspecting? No. It's just outward, no, what the eyes can see, what the nose can smell, and what the ears can hear. So it's all about going and talking to this devotee, talking to that devotee, standing for 2 minutes in front of Radha Gopinath, and so nice, they've dressed them nicely today. Okay, take Charanamrita. Okay, how are you, Mataji? And they've taken prasadam, come back home. Okay, again, week after week, do the saying. So once I had asked Sankarshan Maharaj, so it becomes more socializing than bhakti. So he said, yeah, then you have to be introspective and see. And as Prabhu said, it's a hospital, no? So sometimes some devotees will give you so much respect. Oh, without your blessings, I can't do anything. Then you get very scared. Oh my God, my blessings. Who am I to bless? But then, oh, they're asking for blessings. Okay. And you start you start feeling very great. I'm so great. And sometimes the same devotee, they'll just see through you and go, no? As if you're transparent. So then, last week that devotee gave me so much importance that my false ego knew no bounds. And this week, nothing. So then you start becoming sober. And then, Krishna, I am such a fool. When I'm given importance, I go up to the skies. When I'm not given importance, I become very depressed. So please, you tell me, you guide me as to how I should feel. If you are happy, then I should become happy. So you please guide me like that. So like that the mode of passion, no, it takes over even in the temple. So then Sankarshan Maharaj said, all the time be aware of your motivation. Are you going there for socializing? When you talk to a devotee, see them as devotees, not as some social party, someone has come where I'm just inquiring how they are. So do everything with the motivation of pleasing Krishna and see Krishna. That is one thing. And in the purport of 14.7, which we are discussing now, it talks about how there is this mode of passion is characterized by the attraction between man and woman. So for that, Keshav Prabhu, he makes this point. He makes it like a joke and he says, marriage, it's all for people in the mode of passion. So you enter from here, the mode of passion, full of passion, you enter, husband and wife, you enter into that tunnel which is the mode of passion, and you expend all your energy in the mode of passion, have children, build a big house, buy so many things and educate the children. So passion, it's all the passion is being used up, and finally when you come from the other side, you have to be in the mode of goodness. So passion, passion dies down, you come to the mode of goodness, and then you dovetail everything in Krishna service, you transcend even the mode of goodness, and you go back to Godhead. So how passion, no? It's attraction between man and woman. But if we didn't have that attraction at all, like some of these brahmacharis, they are so naturally very detached from the opposite sex. And there are some who become a bit fanatic also. When some Mataji is talking to them, they'll only look at the floor and talk, and if they become very, and in their classes it will be all about how you should never associate with Matajis, you should never talk to them. And sometimes the Matajis, they'll be very, they want to ask some questions because this Brahmachari Prabhu is so knowledgeable, but then because looking at his demeanor, he will not look at them all, so they get scared. Oh my God, it looks like my existence is very bad for him. So that is also fanaticism. So it should not be so much that it should not be fanatic. But at the same time, we see some brahmacharis who are naturally like that. They will talk to Matajis, but as a Mataji, as a mother, call Mataji, see them as a Mataji. Like that, those people, they are in the mode of goodness, and it's so conducive for them. They don't have shackles on their legs because they are not governed by the mode of passion, where they build a house and buy things and have children and responsibilities and all that. So it becomes so easy for them. So you can see how there is difference between the mode of passion and mode of goodness. And even this Gita Kirti Mataji, she never got married. She stayed in our place. No, she was telling me how that even that other Mataji, whom she calls her sister, this Mataji, she sold all her jewelry to get that other Mataji educated as to become a doctor. And both of them have remained single. And they are not remorseful that they have not got married. They are very happy. They sold their house in order to build that temple in Sigatoka. And she's saying, I'm very happy now. Each one of us has got a big room in that big temple. They've built a temple 3-4 stories high, no? I don't know how many stories in Sigatoka. We all should go there once. It's so, she said, in Fiji. and they're living there. And Krishna fulfilled everything. She thought, oh, I don't have children, but I have this motherly tendency. And one anatha child, it came into their life, and it's a local Fiji child. They have adopted that child, called her Tulsi. They're bringing up that child in Krishna consciousness. And this little child is so lucky, she lives in the temple, and this Mataji and her sister and another Mataji, all of them, all single, they're living there. And this child, she calls this Mataji Ma, the other Maji, Mataji, Mummy. So she's got 3 mothers, and she's a darling of everyone in the temple. And when that local president or something comes, she'll go and give him a box of Maha sweets from the Lord. So they're fulfilled like that. They've got a child also, which Krishna has provided. So see, mode of goodness. They didn't get married, but Krishna has provided everything. But it's okay. We don't have to lose hope. We are all we are all, I mean, somehow we got married, but then we keep dovetailing our propensities in the Lord's service, this mode of passion being used in Krishna service, slowly that will also fizzle out, and naturally through age also it fizzles out, no? What to do? Naturally Krishna has organized it like that. So mode of passion goes to the mode of goodness, hopefully, if we are, and bhakti, of course. Yeah. Thank you.
Text number 8. We are following Bhagavad Gita, but there are very practical realizations. Kalamata, you got a book there? Or? You can read text 8. Microphone. Today, sorry, we are. You need glasses. Okay, let Manibhush Tamanta, you can read the next one. Yeah. Manibhush Tamanta, you can read text 8.
Text 8. Tamastva ajnana jam vidhi.
Tamastu ajnana jam vidhi.
Mohanam sarvadehinam.
Mohanam sarvadehinam.
Pramaadalasya nidrabis.
Pramaadalasya nidrabis.
Tannibhadanti bharata.
Tannibhadanti bharata.
Translation. O son of Bharata, O sign of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
Okay. Wait, you can read the purport.
In this verse, the specific application of the word tu is very significant. This means that the mode of ignorance is a very peculiar qualification of the embodied soul. The mode of ignorance is just the opposite of the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, one can understand what is what, but the mode of ignorance is just the opposite. Everyone under the spell of the mode of ignorance becomes mad, and a mad man cannot understand what is what. Instead of making advancement, one becomes degraded. The definition of the mode of ignorance is stated in the Vedic literature. Vastu yatatmya jnana varakam viparyaya jnana janakam tama. Under the spell of ignorance, one cannot understand a thing as it is. For example, everyone can see that his grandfather had died, and therefore he will also die. Man is mortal. The children that he conceives will also die. So death is sure. Still, people are madly accumulating money and working very hard all day and night, not caring for the eternal spirit. This is madness. In their madness, they are very reluctant to make advancement in spiritual understanding. Such people are very lazy. When they are invited to associate for spiritual understanding, they are not much interested. They are not even active like the man who is controlled by the mode of passion. Thus, another symptom of one embedded in the mode of ignorance is that he sleeps more than he is required. 6 hours of sleep is sufficient, but a man in the mode of ignorance sleeps at least 10 or 12 hours a day. Such a man appears to be always dejected and is addicted to intoxicants and sleeping. These are the symptoms of a person conditioned by the mode of ignorance.
Okay. That's good. So what are the characteristics of mode of ignorance?
Becomes mad.
Yeah.
Cannot understand what is what.
So yeah, doesn't know what is what. Yeah.
Doesn't know what is right, what is
what is right, what is wrong.
And
yeah.
He sleeps. He's very lazy, always sleeping, and where they say they know that they are also going to die like their fathers and grandfathers, but still they are not interested in spiritual progress.
Mm-hmm. Addicted to intoxicants. Yes. More sleep.
I think it comes to the Yudhishthira Maharaj answer, what is the greatest wonder of this world? And he answers that, so many people are dying around, but everyone lives like I'm not, and what could be the greatest wonder? So probably that is the referring to the mode of ignorance.
Yes. Very good. So what are the characteristics of mode of ignorance? Did you mention not interested in spiritual life? Not interested in spiritual life. In spite of knowing that we're going to die one day, one is not interested in spiritual life.
Prabhu, I've heard in one lecture, these three brothers are actually a good representation of each mode. Bibhishana is the representation of mode of goodness, Ravana is the mode of passion, and Kumbhakarna is the mode of ignorance, because he sleeps a long time. Ravana is passionate, he wants like so many things, and Vibhishana is the one who is serving the Lord. So they are kind of representing the three modes.
Yes, very good. Yes, Samruddhi?
Vijay, I didn't understand the first line. It's when it says in the purport, when it says in this verse, the specific application of the word "tu" is very significant. I didn't get the significance of the word "tu." I think it's "tu" is but, where it says ignorance is produced of ignorance, but
because you see here, this is like compared to the other. But is used here compared to the goodness and passion. But in the mode of ignorance, these are the characteristics. It's continuation of the previous verse. Yeah. That means that the mode of ignorance is very peculiar, specific qualification of the conditioned soul. It's just the opposite of mode of goodness. So the but is used as opposing the mode of goodness. You see, mode of goodness and ignorance are exactly opposite. In goodness, one knows, one has knowledge, one knows what to do, what not to do. In mode of passion, one is confused. In mode of ignorance, one is also very confident, but in the opposite direction. What you should do, you will not do. What you should not do, you will do. So it appears that the mode of ignorance person is very confident. The mode of goodness person is also very confident, though in completely opposite direction. The mode of passion looks confused. He is not sure. He doesn't know which one to decide. And if he is in the association, and then how do you decide what does it choose? Because he's confused, which option is likely to take? Easy option is ignorance. Or he may take mode of goodness also if he is in the right association. That's why Vibhishan is always giving advice to Ravan in the mode of goodness. But he was rejecting that advice. So no, not a good idea. He didn't like Vibhishan's advice. Just like Dhritarashtra didn't like whose advice? Vidura's advice, yeah. He didn't like that advice because he used to always advise him opposite of what Duryodhana would say. Duryodhana would take mode of ignorance side and Vidura would say, no, that is wrong, do the opposite. But he could not take that instruction until the very end. At the end he understood. When all his sons were killed and he was living in the palace of Pandavas, being fed by them, the very people he tried to kill. Then when he had said, you're living like a dog, then he realized his mistake and he came out of the palace. Then he accepted Vidura as a guru and on his order he left home. So the person in the mode of passion, which direction is likely to go, it depends on what association is having. In the mode of goodness, his association will move in the right direction. Mode of ignorance will go in the wrong direction. And that's why in Kali Yuga we are mostly in the mode of passion and ignorance. Therefore we have to have good association. Only by good association we can make right decisions. Otherwise we'll make decision based on false ego. And I think I'm right all the time. I never stop to think, am I doing the right thing or wrong thing?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have a question. When you actually ask someone, like do something, read something, or like chant something, he generally understands and says, probably I'm not going to get liberated in this lifetime. Definitely I'm so fallen or something. Whether we should consider that person as mode of ignorance or mode of goodness, because he understands it needs to be done, but he doesn't have that willpower, or he doesn't push himself beyond the comfort zone to do those things under the cap of saying that I'm not going to reach in this lifetime definitely because I've done, I'm so bad. So how do we actually deal with that kind of situation?
You see, the question you ask him, by not attempting Krishna consciousness, you are saying that if I attempt Krishna consciousness, I'm not going to be successful anyway. It's so hard. But if by not attempting also, you're not going to get anyway. So you're not better off you're better off trying, because we are going to make it, our success is not on our endeavor, it's on attracting Krishna's mercy. Not by a qualification. We are not qualified. When Krishna is pleased, Guru is pleased, they bless us, then we get success. And that is more likely to happen if you're trying to please Krishna than if you give up and say, it's too hard, I can't do it. That makes sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
Which is a better option?
Yeah, we try our best and leave it on Krishna's mercy.
Swalpampesya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even little advancement on this path can save you from the most dangerous type of fear. Like the devotee challenged Prabhupada. What if after a whole lifetime of devotion service you find end of the life there's no Krishna and all you did was waste? What will happen to you? Prabhupada's answer was, what is Prabhupada answering? I think I said that one class.
He said, what if you found the other way around?
Yeah. What if it turns out Krishna is real? Then what will you do? At least now we are enjoying life as devotees. We are having a good time, chanting, dancing, feasting. And at the end of the life, Krishna will take us back to Godhead. Even if he is not there, we still enjoyed life anyway. I was counting, we have on a weekend average 6 to 7 to 8 parties on a weekend. I mean, even the hardcore materialists will be envious of us. You are party animals. We go from one party to another. Morning went to the temple, had a party there. Breakfast party, Bhagavatam class. Meet sorry Prabhu, nice devotees. And I come here, nice devotees. Go to next program again. Next. All day. But what do you want?
Prabhu, I just share because nowadays I don't go to all the team meetings and team gatherings, team lunches, and they say you don't go to restaurant. I said I'd eat more outside food than all you do, And I actually eat more different variety than all of you ate, because one actually gave the Bhakti Shastri example. I said, when we come here, we get, people from north, south, east, west, everywhere. And it's like fresh cooked food, homemade, hot, and it is not that I have to, I eat every type of cuisine, which you don't get, all the menus you don't get into any restaurant. So, and they said, is it? And I said, yes. I every Saturday we eat outside. Every Sunday we eat outside. We don't, free food, and it's like I don't pay for it.
Anything, not cost.
And I said I don't pay for it as well. And they were stunned by the amount of what we eat outside and the different cuisines we eat. Yeah,
and it's all good for your health. You don't have to worry about
that's right,
unless there's some deep fried, of course. But otherwise, it's pretty good. Not eating meat and fish and eggs. So who is partying more? Who is having a better time? Krishna party wins. Yeah, very true. Okay. Anything else on mode of ignorance? So again, to summarize, what are the characteristics of mode of ignorance? Madness, laziness, sleeping, indolence, not interested in spiritual practice, yes. Reluctant to make advancement, dejected, addicted to intoxicants. That's more passion, yeah. Being envious of others, success. Yeah, being envious. It starts with passion, but becomes anger. When it becomes anger, it becomes mode of ignorance. So like that, one degrades oneself to mode of ignorance. And mode of ignorance, one is never happy. Paradukha sukhi is happy when others are unhappy. And seeing others' happiness, become unhappy. It's the opposite. Mode of goodness is paradukha dukhi. Seeing others suffering, you feel sad. You're happy for others, sad for others. Mode of passion, one is selfish, doesn't care about others. So like that, we can keep on seeing throughout this chapter, Krishna gives the characteristics of the modes. Okay. So, yes, Janardan too.
Prabhu, say for example, a child, he's studying, say class 10, and he completes class 12, he wants to become a doctor. After that, he wants to be, do research, and he wants to grow up in that. So he's got that ambition. Now, is that mode of, what is the mode like? Is he in a mode of passion, or
Okay.
Because or is it better not to have ambition?
Very good question. This is a common question people ask, and they're fearful of Krishna consciousness. So what advice would you give this boy? He wants to be a doctor, he wants to... You should ask Jagannath Gopal. Yes, Manibhushan Mataji got a hand up, the microphone has to travel all the way to the other end.
Doing Bhakti Shastri with Krishna Prabhu, he gave the examples of a mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Mode of passion is like the daytime, but when you're active in Krishna, like keep center when you're working. Like suppose you want to be a doctor, so you keep Krishna in center, that I'm going to be a better doctor to serve Krishna's devotees, and I'm going to learn doctor, whatever the profession. So that will be whatever you're using a mode of passion, whatever the modes you're using, use it for Krishna. Then it's Krishna conscious. That's what he told us.
Yeah. So one has to use that mode in Krishna service. So the desire is there. Now at least that's the Prabhupada used the word dovetail the desire. Rather than give up the desire, which may be hard, you dovetail the desire. Use it in such a way that Krishna's service can be done. So you can use it like Mataji said, you use it for serving the devotees, and if you make good money, use that money to build a temple. We need a lot of doctors.
I think probably last visit when His Holiness Jayapadaka Maharaj was here, he was actually asking he said, we got too many peoples to chop the vegetables in the temple, but we need more doctors and nurses so that we can serve the so probably that's the way to lead forward from here.
So Krishna consciousness is not about giving up that desire, no? That ambition, but it has to be done for Krishna's pleasure. That's true. We need help of everyone actually.
I don't know whether this point is applies to what we are discussing right now. I was reminded of how Radhanath Maharaj was asked this question. If I have 1 crore rupees and the temple needs that 1 crore rupees for some development or something, and if I think if I give this 1 crore I'll become very proud, so I will not give. Is that the right thing to do? So then Maharaj said, obviously no. You give the money, but don't become proud. When you become proud, it's the mode of passion. No? So don't become proud. Give it. Your motivation should be to please Krishna.
Not that I will, because of fear of becoming proud, I will not give the money. What will you do then? You use it for something else, sense gratification. That will be a mode of passion and ignorance.
Correct. So like that, if we tell the children, no, don't become a doctor because then you'll become proud, or it involves a lot of hard work and you will lose Krishna. No, but do it for Krishna. Once when we went to the Juhu temple, we all went for Mangalarti, and they announced that they needed so many crores, and this Prabhu has given it, and they gave the Maha garland from Radha Ras Bihari to him. He was just in ordinary dhoti and kurta, and he didn't, or not everyone went rushing and saying, oh Prabhu, can I have your autograph, or nothing like that. So simple. Crores and crores of rupees he just gave, quietly had prasadam, walked away. So wonderful, no? Whatever question was asked of Maharaj, that's a live example of that. And we were thinking, oh my God, India, it's quite such a rich place, no? You find both paupers and very rich people, and he is not proud at all. Used it in Krishna's service and just remained in the background.
28 crores. One person here. That was the Mangalarti time fundraising. They didn't have any fundraising dinners or anything. They said, we need 28 crores on you, that heaven on earth project. I think I mentioned that in the fundraising dinner. I wish things were that easy. Yeah. Pass the microphone.
If you have more money, then you should have also, if you have a good heart to have the good money, then you should have a good heart to give also. So it's not everyone who gives like that. So it's Radhanath Maharaj quote actually came on Facebook.
Very nice. Yeah, that's right. So that's what the Christians say. No, God doesn't see how much you give, but how much you keep. More important. Yep. We're running out of time now. So today we covered up to 8, right? 6, 7, 8. So text 9 onwards, again there will be more characteristics of the different modes and how to pass away in different modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. And we'll have the illustration next time, right? All right. We'll bring it next week. Next week we'll do it. It keeps on repeating. Keeps on repeating. The theme keeps on repeating. Yeah. Yeah. So up to text number 10 is how the soul is bound to the material world. It's given a summary. And 11 to 13 is again more symptoms. And the last 14 to 18 is death and activity in the modes, leaving the body in goodness, passion, ignorance. And the last section is transcending the modes, how to transcend the modes of material nature. That's the last section, 1927. They're all coming one after the other. They're all being compared. A particular thing is being compared. Characteristics are being given. more like properties. And in chapter 17 also this modes of material nature is also mentioned there. We'll wrap it up at the end, when you come to the end, that's when we can summarize the 3 columns, goodness, passion, ignorance. We can do that, because right now we're doing one at a time, and then we do the whole thing together, and then we'll also do examples. Like today we discussed, going to temple, is that mode of goodness, passion, ignorance? People think going to temple is mode of goodness, but it may not be, and depends on what temple you're going to as well. So many things are there, and depends on what attitude you go. So we discussed so much about that. So it's not black and white.
Rajshekhar Prabhu's Bhakti Vriksha, one of the devotees had brought some 2-3 sheets, and they were all tabular columns with all mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Very nicely they had written it all. I think we can have for the children some kind of drawing activity where they have to draw mode, to explain to them all the principles of each mode, and ask them to make some drawings, to depict each thing. They'll use, last time how they did that happiness, happy, active, helpless, HAH. So nicely they did. So like that we can engage them in those to make drawings, and they'll also understand. Then we can very easily chastise them. Look, now you're slipping to the mode of ignorance.
We can't chastise, they'll chastise us actually. You're giving them a nice weapon. This is the worst experience speaking. You teach the children, they'll give it back to you. Don't worry. Mani Vishnu Mataji, wait. Another 5 years. You'll be dealing with it. All the argument they'll pull out. But in the class. Very nice. Yeah, that's good. They understand things so quickly. They're so fortunate to learn at young age, Very fortunate.
And he took that tablet and he was happy. So he was telling, this is demoniac, this is divine. So they try to relate it immediately. This is bad quality, fire, and that person is in bad mood. So this is demonic quality.
Very nice. We have reading. And, before we start reading, we'd like to thank Janardan Prabhu and Kala Mataji for hosting us today and training for Prasad. Thank you.